everybody, welcome back to another QuicksterGames video, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to learn C# for Unity. And this is just going to be a pretty basic tutorial for beginners that want to start off with coding in Unity. And this is going to be pretty much like for Unity. I mean, I can make a tutorial on just plain C# if you guys want, but this is going to be for Unity, so let's get into it. So I'm assuming you've probably looked at Unity before. It's a pretty nice program, and to create a script in it, all I'm going to do is right-click in the Assets folder, click Create, and C# script, and we're just going to call this Tutorial. And here, we're just going to double-click on it, and it should open your scripting software. Now, I am using MonoDevelop because I feel like it is more simple for beginners to understand. The only issue with it is that it does not work with the newest versions of Unity, so you do have to use older versions of Unity. But I guess it's fine. So let's start off with like the main thing. So right now we're gonna look at void update and void start. Now, void update is pretty much, and it like tells you right here, update is called once per frame, and what this means is that any lines of code in void update is going to get executed once every single frame. So depending on how much FPS you have, there is going to be, it's going to call that many times per second. So let's say you have 1,000 frames per second, it's going to execute this lines of code 1,000 times in a second. So in void start, what it's doing is it is whatever code is executed in void start, it is whatever code is inside of void start is just going to get executed once at the start. So whatever is in void start is going to be executed once. So let's zoom in here. And in void update, you can put a lot of stuff in here that you might want, like checking if something's wrong or something like that. So what we're going to learn is we're going to see the logic between how C# works with Unity. So basically, you might have heard of print, unless this is literally your first time doing anything coding whatsoever. Even then, you still might have heard of print. Print basically prints out a line of code in your console. And to do this in C# and Unity, what you do is, we're going to do this in void start. You do Debug.Log, and then in parentheses, and then quotation marks. So what this is doing is so you're calling debug, which is like this. So this is the console. And in Unity, the console is where the Debug.Log is. So anything that you put in Debug.Log is going to pop up in the console. So what we're doing is Debug.Log, parentheses, and then quotes. Now quotes is something that you're basically saying, like, literally, like human language. So like you could type in whatever. You could say, "Hi, my name is QuicksterGames," and you'd get no errors because this is in quotes. So you could put anything like human language into these quotes and you would not get any errors. Now, what you can't do is, if you take away the quotation marks, now you will get errors. You can see this is underlined and you'd get a lot of errors. So you have to have this under quotes so that the computer knows that this is literal. Like, just completely ignore what is in there. Just like put whatever is in these quotes to the console and do not try to compile it or anything. Like, don't do that. And now in C#, and I'm pretty sure in every language except for a few, code ends with a semicolon, and a semicolon just basically tells the computer, alright, this is the end of the line of code, execute the next line of code, move on. So if you don't put this semicolon, it's going to try to execute this line of code with this line of code, and it's just going to be all messy and disgusting, so you have to put that semicolon there. And now, if we save it, remember to save your script all the time. A really useful thing is to do Control-S. It's really fast. And now, if we go into Unity and run that, you can see that there is nothing in the console. And this is because Unity only executes scripts that are attached to game objects. So what you actually have to do for the script to even think about being executed is, well, you can attach this to a game object. We'll get in this in another video, but for now, just to make sure that the script gets executed, we're going to create an empty game object, which basically just is an empty game object. There's absolutely nothing in it. There's no object. It's just something that you can attach a script to. So to attach a script, you just drag on the script and drag it over to the inspector while highlighting over it. So you can see, click on the game object, drag it over here. And now the script is attached, and now if we run it, you can see it runs the code. Hi, my name is QuicksterGames. Now you can do a lot of stuff with this. So we can write like whole stories, like hi, my name is Bob. I am, I don't know, just a random number, 38 years old. And remember to put that semicolon. A lot of people forget that sometimes. And they'll be wondering, why am I getting errors? Why am I getting errors? It's because you probably forgot a semicolon. That's always something you should look out for. When you're done writing lines of code, you have to put semicolons. And then do Debug.Log. Oh, not logger. Sometimes autocorrect doesn't work very well. I am learning coding. And it's just going to execute. Now, the way computers read lines of code is it reads from the top to bottom. So, we'll touch on this in probably the next tutorial, but, at the top it says using is just like the libraries. And it's going to be like, oh, this is a class, and you can see there are these, curly braces. And whatever is in the curly braces, we're going to execute it. And you can see void start. It's going to execute this line first, this line second, and this line third. So it should be in order. So if we run the code, you can see it goes in order. Hi, my name is Bob. I am 38 years old. I am learning coding. So it goes in order, and this can be really, if you're trying to get some things to work, sometimes it might be because you're putting a line of code before or after something that needs to be like executed, like before or after. So like, let's say I have this under here, and you're wondering, why is it out of order? Why does it say I am 38 years old first? It's because it is under here, and you just need to like put that above, and then it'll work. Now for update, we're just gonna get rid of this, and update, if you remember what I was talking about update, it executes anything that is in between these curly braces, and it executes this every single frame. So let's say, let's do what I was doing before, Debug.Log. Hi, my name is QuicksterGames. So now our console is going to be a real big mess because we're executing it once every single frame. So look at this. Look at this. sometimes it's not really, like, you can see we're getting 75 FPS, and our FPS is low because we're executing this every single frame. So you can see we're already at 1,000. And if we get like, I don't know how to, oh no, if you can see it's executing a lot of times, so it's just making our game lag, and we don't want that. So we'd have to put it in the start function for it to not execute a million times. And now I encourage you to experiment with this. Write your own story within Debug.Log. So right here we can just do like, there once was a king and a princess in a tower. And then, now a really good shortcut to use if you're copy and pasting stuff is Shift and Home, and it will completely just copy that entire line of code, and it's really useful if you're trying to do stuff more than once. And then there once was a king and princess. The king's name was Gerald, and so on. You can make your own stories out of this and print it to the console. Now, I just encourage you to experiment, do whatever, and before you watch the next video, which is probably going to be on variables, and before you watch the next video, if you're watching this the day this video comes out, it will come out tomorrow, but before you watch the next video, I encourage you to just experiment with this. I mean, it's really like, just make sure you've mastered it, make sure you remember Debug.Log, make sure you remember what void start and update means, and yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.